One of my favorite things about the mechanical keyboard hobby is the happiness that one experiences in getting their new keyboard. I really love it when I hear how happy one of my friends or viewers is when they get into the hobby and get their first keyboard. That is why I review so many budget pre-builds or budget custom mechanical keyboards, because at the end of the day, my goal is to spread the joy of mechanical keyboards to as many people as I can. Not everyone is able to afford spending tons of money on super high-end boards, and with the budget keyboard scene becoming so good over the past year alone, I'm really excited to make today's video. If you have been following my channel, you might remember the NK65 Entry Edition review video. At the time, this keyboard was revolutionary. It brought so many features that were attractive to many customers, including hot swap, VIA support, pretty polycarbonate case colors, a carrying case, and most importantly, a really competitive price at $95. This keyboard really set the standards for an entry-level custom mechanical keyboard, and many keyboards including the Portico and the KBD68 Aurora have been made as a response to the NK65. The keyboard that we'll be taking a look at today, the KBD67 Lite, is also another entry-level custom mechanical keyboard made to compete with the NK65. KBDFans has long been a staple in the mechanical keyboard scene in providing affordable custom mechanical keyboards that are easily accessible to buy. I've loved using a lot of their previous boards in the past, like the Tofu and D65, so I was excited to hear that they were offering their own entry-level keyboard. The board that I have for review today is from the Round 1 drop, which featured 3 colors of black, white, and transparent black at a price of $109. The Round 2 group buy is currently live right now until April 10th and features new colors of transparent Tiffany, gray and white, and pink. With that being said, let's get to the unboxing. The keyboard came in the standard black box that KBDFans likes to use on most of their products. Since this is a budget keyboard, the packaging wasn't nice as the higher end D65, but that is understandable. Inside the box, there's a keyboard carrying case where everything is. You have your note telling you not to bend your hot swap pins, a build guide QR code, stabilizer foam to use instead of band-aid modding, screws and screwdriver, telephone wire-like USB-C cable, and your keyboard. I got the transparent black color and it turned out to be a lot lighter than I expected, but I think it looks pretty nice. The design is the same as the KBD67 Mark II, which I've always liked because of how nice the sides look with the curved angle. However, I really dislike this KBDFans logo on the back and think that they would have been better off without it. Thankfully, it is on the bottom of the keyboard for us to not see. If you are someone that isn't looking to mod the keyboard, you can just add the switches and keycaps and you would be done. But I'll be modding it today, and to take the keyboard apart, you unscrew 8 screws on the back. The PCB and plate are secured by mounts in between, similar to the D65, so we need to unscrew them to take off these stabilizers. The kit comes with a polycarbonate plate, which is great since it makes the typing experience and sound a lot better than other materials like brass or aluminum. They also include a silicone sound dampener in between the plate and PCB, which is always a nice addition. There is also something interesting about this silicone piece, which we'll talk about more later. They also have a thin piece of foam underneath the PCB for more sound dampening. So I don't like having these mounts in between the PCB and plate because they create more unnecessary points of hardness when typing that creates a stiff experience. I'll be taking them out since I feel the PCB and plate will be secure enough from the switches in the hot swap sockets. Next, we'll take a look at the stabilizers. KBDFans include cherry screw-in stabilizers for this round, which will be replaced with their own newly branded one in the second round. What I noticed from this DIY kit is that unlike the D65 kit, they did not include the washers. However, they did include the square grounding pads to prevent your PCB from shorting. But the silicone piece did not have appropriate cutouts to accommodate for these pads, so I did not end up putting them on since I was using an ABS plastic case. Taking a look at the stabilizers, the wires are slightly looped from the factory. And what's more impressive is that the stabilizers were clipped as well. So if you didn't want to mod your keyboard, I think that the stabilizers would be pretty decent. But I modded them myself anyways, lubing the housing with Krytox 205 grade 0 and wires with dielectric grease. I also added the stabilizer stickers instead of doing the traditional band-aid mod. For the switches, I went with the Novelkeys dry yellows. If you have seen my linear switch awards video or the D65 video, I really love these switches for their smoothness and sound. I recently got alpaca switches to compare the dry yellows, so be on the lookout for a video sometime in the near future. After putting on all the switches, it is always good to test them out on a key tester to make sure that all the pins are put in straight. So going back to the silicone piece, it plays an important role in providing the gasket mount experience. The silicone that sticks out from the plate sits between the case that allows for a nicer cushioned feel. For keycaps, we'll be using Polycaps Black on White, sent over for review by Kinetic Labs. If you haven't heard of Kinetic Labs before, they're a really cool keyboard vendor that sells everything you'll need from keycaps, switches, and other accessories needed for any build. This black on white keycap set is a budget PBT set at a price of $59.99. They are double shot and feel pretty smooth to the touch. Comparing them to my ePBT black on white, you can see that the legends are on the thinner side, but the thickness on this keycap is pretty good and has the same thickness as the ePBT set. One thing that I noticed, however, about the polycaps are some inconsistencies between the keycaps. You can see that two of the same shift keycaps have different thickness on them. And I found this one random keycap with Korean sub-legend, which is always welcoming for me, but a bit random. So although this keycap set isn't perfect, at around half the price of the ePBT set, I think it is a pretty good keycap set for the value and compatibility you get with it. We'll also be using the Bloom desk mat from Kinetic Labs today, and I think it looks really nice with the build. With everything out of the way, let's take a listen to how the keyboard sounds. So what are my thoughts on the board? I think it's really good. I think for $109, you're getting a really good deal with a lot of things included. I really like how they included genuine cherry screw-in stabilizers, and even though Duroc V2s are the most popular choice right now, cherry stabilizers are still a great option. In addition, the DIY kit, including the little things like the stabilizer foam stickers and both plate silicone dampener and the case foam, are great additions to the board. However, I wish that the case foam, which is a bit thin, was like the NK65 one, where it was made out of silicone dampener instead. Other than that, my only complaint would be the logo on the back, which does not look that good in my opinion. On the bright side, the typing experience is really nice, and I love how they included a polycarbonate plate instead of an aluminum plate like the NK65. Polycarbonate is one of my favorite materials that I've tried so far for plate materials, as I like the sound signature that it brings out. In addition, the unique gasket mount design makes for an enjoyable typing experience, better than the NK65. Although the NK65 was a modified top mount, it still had tray mount included. Overall, this made the NK65 typing experience very stiff, while the KBD67 Lite typing experience feels a bit more cushioned. Typing experience and sound is very important to me, so I would take the KBD67 Lite over the NK65 any day. In addition, the option for only having plate mount stabilizers on the NK65 really held it back from being even greater than it already was. So at the end of the day, Although the NK65 was a budget custom king when it first came out, I would say now that the KBD67 is a better option that I would recommend over the NK65. However, the NK65 is made out of injected molded polycarbonate, while KBD67 Lite is made out of ABS plastic. So if you're one of those people that prefer polycarbonate over ABS plastic, that is one thing to keep in mind. To me, it's not that big of a deal. If you have made it this far, I wanted to thank you for sticking around. Feel free to hit the like and subscribe button if you enjoyed today's video, as I make a lot of mechanical keyboard content similar to this video. I got more exciting content planned for the future that you don't want to miss. As always, I'll put my socials down below, so come interact with me on there as well. I've also recently made a Ko-fi account, so if you want to support what I do by buying me a coffee or funding me for more stuff that I can review, I would really appreciate it. Until next time, stay safe and take care.